Well, hey, it is maybe time to start training because East Tennessee's biggest race weekend returns in April of next year. We're talking the 2026 Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon. And there are two brand new challenges for runners ready to go the distance. So joining us now to talk more about this is race director Jason Altman, who is here to talk about the big changes. I love this. Two new challenges. So let's first talk about those.
Yeah, so you may see across the country other events are doing sort of a challenge option for people where they do multiple races throughout the course of the race weekend. And we said, hey, why don't we bring that to Knoxville? So we're adding what we call the Knox Hills Challenge. So this gives people the opportunity to do the 5K Saturday night and then the marathon on Sunday morning.
Ooh.
And if the marathon's a little much for doing your challenge, you can do the Marble City Challenge. So that's going to be 5K Saturday, half marathon Sunday morning. And of course people love the swag, right? So
yes.
what's the incentive other than, just a little bit of, putting yourself through the ringer on race weekend? They're going to get an extra medal. So you get your regular medal for the half marathon and the 5K, or the marathon and the 5K. You get an extra challenge medal if you do one of those, and then an extra swag item as well. So people like the T-shirts,
yeah.
Maybe a coffee mug, a pint glass, that kind of thing. They'll get an extra item for doing the challenge.
It's all about the hardware, right?
Yeah.
And the bragging rights after that. And let's talk a minute about the course, because before it has run over the Gay Street Bridge. Obviously, we know that's closed right now. Supposed to be open by the end of the year for pedestrians and bicyclists, so maybe by next April we'll be there, but what are we thinking?
Perhaps. That's, we did make some changes last year. I say last year as in this past spring in 2025, where we had to bypass the Gay Street Bridge. That's one of those meetings we're having with the city later this fall to see, where are we at in that project? Is that something that's feasible for us to kind of showcase that, or is that something that we need to avoid for this year? Typically, we like to have our course finalized and announced to the public by Thanksgiving because people will start training for 4 months leading up to it, so they want to be able to be on parts of the course if they live here in East Tennessee.
And speaking of that, so is November when you should start training if you're thinking about doing this, or can you maybe just start now if you need to?
I mean, it depends what your experience level is and what your goals might be, but typically if somebody says, hey, I'm new to this, I just need to know where to get started and when to start. A 16-week training program for a marathon is sort of the general rule of thumb, 12 weeks for a half marathon. But we at the Knoxville Track Club, we like to kind of help people out. So we will start group training runs every Saturday morning, first Saturday in December. And those will last every weekend all the way through until race weekend. And we'll meet at different places around town so we can run parts of the course, or we can highlight some of the areas, greenways, the city of Knoxville, Knox County greenways out and about. If folks want more information on that, they can go to our website, knoxvillemarathon.com, click the training tab, and it'll show you where we're going to meet each week.
And I'm sure you probably agree with this. I think what's cool about this marathon compared to maybe others across the country is kind of the sights you get to see along the way. I mean, not every marathon. You get the Sun Sphere, you're seeing the river. I mean, describe the course and why you think this is a cool marathon to do.
Well, when we came up with the course, the topography here in East Tennessee, it's not super flat, right?
Right.
So we said, what is something that would be appealing to the participants? And what we decided is we want to go through all these beautiful neighborhoods. So we've got Sequoia Hills, we've got Park Ridge, 4th and Gill, Island Home, Fort Sanders. We go through UT campus too, which we have a lot of sororities and fraternities who are coming out and cheering on the runners now too, kind of, getting a younger demographic there. But we said if we go through all these neighborhoods, why don't we have a neighborhood competition where we see which, the runners can vote on which one of the neighborhoods they thought showed the most support. And then we give them a little prize money, a little pizza party afterwards as well. But just being able to go through all those historic neighborhoods, like you said, the river, the Sun Sphere, World's Fair Park, it's got history there as well. It's a great course.
And then before we let you go, there's a reason we're kind of talking to you now, because there's going to be a price increase. So now's the time to sign up, right? Yeah,
even though the race isn't until mid-April, we do have a price increase coming up October 1st. So if you're watching at home and you're like, hey, there's something that I think I want to do, you can save up to $20 on your event by going ahead and pulling the trigger before the calendar turns to October.
All right, it will be here before we know it.
It
Thanks
always
so much.
is.
I know, no kidding. All right, thanks so much for stopping by and telling us about it.